The Zoom call was going well until my client said, "Since you really understand me now, maybe you could just email me what I should do this week." And I realized somewhere along the way, we'd lost clarity about what this relationship was. She thought we'd progressed to the point where I would give her assignments. I thought we were deepening into real coaching. Neither of us was wrong about our intentions. We just hadn't been clear enough about expectations from the start. That's what Marker 3.02 is about, and it's more important than most coaches realize. When boundaries blur, coaching loses its power. And boundaries blur when we don't name them explicitly. Your clients bring their own assumptions into the relationship, what they expect from you, what they think they're supposed to do, what coaching means based on every other experience they've had. If you don't get ahead of those assumptions, you'll be working against invisible expectations the entire engagement. Clarity up front prevents confusion later. And it's your job to create that clarity, not the client's. Here's how ICF frames it in Marker 3.02. The coach reaches agreement about what is and is not appropriate in the relationship, what is and is not being offered, and the responsibilities of the client and relevant stakeholders, including commitment to working toward coaching goals. There's a lot packed into that marker. What's appropriate? What's being offered? Who's responsible for what? And notice that phrase at the end, commitment to working toward coaching goals. That's a 2025 edition. ICF is emphasizing that clients aren't just participating, they're committing to real effort toward real outcomes. Let's start with scope. What are you actually offering? We have to talk about what's being offered. This is what coaching is. This is what I will be doing. This is the scope of my work. Be explicit. I will meet with you for 60 minutes every 2 weeks. I'll ask questions. I'll challenge your thinking. I'll hold you accountable to what you say matters to you. And be just as clear about what you won't do. I won't give you advice on what to decide. I won't do the work for you between sessions. I won't be available 24/7 for tech support. Name it so there's no ambiguity. Now let's talk about the client side. Coaching is a partnership, and partnership means both people have responsibilities. The client is responsible for showing up, not just physically, but fully present. They're responsible for being honest with you, even when it's uncomfortable. They're responsible for doing the work between sessions, the reflection, the action, the practice. And here's what ICF added in 2025. They're responsible for commitment to working toward their coaching goals. Not just talking about goals, actually working toward them. Your client needs to understand this from the beginning. Now let's make it more complicated. If you're doing organizational coaching, you don't just have a client, you have stakeholders. And ICF is clear, you need to reach agreement, not just with your client, but with the relevant stakeholders about what they're responsible for. Here's where it gets tricky. The sponsor, maybe HR, maybe the client's manager, may expect progress reports. The client expects confidentiality. Those can conflict. You need to get ahead of that conflict. Before you start coaching, everyone needs to understand what information will be shared, what stays private, and who's responsible for what. Don't wait until there's a problem to figure this out. Let me name what I see coaches get wrong here. First, being vague about what you will and won't do. We'll figure it out as we go is not an agreement. It's an invitation to confusion. Second, assuming the client knows they're responsible for doing the work. They may expect you to do the heavy lifting. Make the expectation explicit. Third, in organizational context, not addressing stakeholder expectations up front. Then 3 months in, the sponsor wants a report and your client feels betrayed. These aren't edge cases, they're common, and they're preventable with clear agreements at the start. Here's what I want you to remember. Clear agreements about roles, boundaries, and commitments create safety. When everyone knows what's expected, there's room to do the real work. Both parties, coach and client, need to understand what's being offered and what's expected. Make these agreements explicit, have the conversation, put it in writing if that helps. Don't assume clarity, create it. With roles and responsibilities clear, the next layer is logistics, the practical parameters that make coaching work. That's what we'll explore in the next unit.